Right. Hi everyone. So today I'm going to tell you a story. So here are some situations I often find myself in as someone who is not a doctor, but who studies health sciences. On the one hand, my parents will often email, text, send telegrams asking me whether this natural remedy that they used to use back in Russia can cure this week's particular disease. On the other hand, I also give talks related to Alzheimer's disease, and I often get questions from the audience asking me about whether turmeric, pomegranates, or Sudoku puzzles can cure the disease. A few weeks ago, the situation came up again. My mom's coworker, let's call her Q, was recently diagnosed with cancer. She follows doctor's orders, but she is looking at alternatives. So her daughter's dentist recommends drinking chaga tea. My mom happens to know about chaga. It's a fungus that grows on birch trees and was commonly used in the Soviet era and apparently would cure some people's cancer. Now hold up, if we accept this as true, why would it only cure some people's cancer? Well, I need to take a brief detour and explain probably what was going on. Let's say we have two people with liver cancer. Now, we might assume that because it's in the same location, it's the same disease, but that's not entirely accurate. Sure, the cancers will have similarities because they come from the same organ, the liver, but cancer is due to mutations, and mutations are random, unpredictable, and unique to each person. Therefore, one treatment on one person might work really well, whereas on another person, not so much, simply because the cells have mutated differently. Okay, back to Q. So my mom asks me, can drinking chaga tea cure cancer? So I go to Google to do my research, and here's what I found out. So there are some indigenous cultures that still use it as medicine today. As previously mentioned, we do have observational data showing that they were used in Soviet hospitals. We have cell culture data showing that it has anti-cancer and anti-inflammatory properties. We have a list of active ingredients that could explain how it works. We even have some mouse studies showing some benefit in reducing tumor growth. Now, I can't recommend that people start drinking this tea by the liters, and there's several reasons for that. While there is a lot of evidence, it's in cell cultures, which are good at showing how or why something could work, but not if something will work in a complex organism like a human. There still have been no controlled human studies looking at safety or efficacy. I should take this time to point out that about half of the pharmaceutical drugs available today were originally derived from natural sources, but there's a reason that we use processed and formulated drugs rather than going to the original plant or organism as it is. One of those reasons is the dosage of the active ingredient. Maybe it's naturally too high, which could lead to toxicity. Maybe it's too low, leading you to needing to take lots of it in order to get any effect. There's also the issue of variability. In nature, the amount of active ingredient can vary wildly depending on how, when, where the plant was processed or grew. There's also the issue that there's other active ingredients in the plant, and we don't know how those can interact with other parts of your body or with other medication that you're taking. The point is that conventional medicine provides consistency. There's also the issue that chaga is considered a supplement, and therefore it's not regulated the same way regular medicine is, and all those previous issues I mentioned aren't standardized. My conclusion was that, well, probably drinking the tea won't cause harm, so I emailed my mom, who passed the thoughts on to Q. But there was something I learned throughout this process, and that's that we shouldn't outright dismiss natural remedies, even if we have the science to disprove it. And there's two reasons: agency and respect. Regarding agency, during a time of crisis, such as a serious illness, we need to feel in control of the situation, or at least some aspect of it. That's why with something like climate change, we push for individual action, such as taking the bus more often or using less plastic, even if the overall impact is minimal. Regarding respect, I think we're too harsh on people not knowing the science. I try to put myself in their shoes. If I was to ask an engineer, why is that bridge over there not falling? There are two responses I don't want to hear: go to school for 6 years and learn for yourself, or just trust me and no further attempt at an explanation. So that's the story. So it looks like Q and I both ended up learning something new. Whether your gut instinct is to trust traditional medicine or conventional medicine, I hope you were able to see the other side with this story. Thank you.